Hey guys, thanks for tuning in on the Narrow Path. I'm just out the back here, Dandy Showgrounds, and I know it's been a little while since I've done a video. Just had a lot of stuff going on, trying to process this time in my life. I guess is my early to mid 20s. It's running amok, things were chaotic, trauma and stuff was coming up, and I guess I've just been thinking about that, and it's been pretty hard to process, and I guess remembering stuff that I've previously forgotten. I try to think about the videos and run them through my head before I do them. And so not only that, I guess, just general stuff going through, coming out of that lifestyle, drugs and crime, especially being in it for so long. It's that nature, it's hard to snap out of, I guess what I'm saying is like with work, I've been wanting to get back into work, wanting to provide for my family and bless my kids and whatever, and I was really hoping to get a job down the docks through someone that I knew down there, or someone that knows someone. And basically I was going out to get my forklift license and stuff, and while I was in the process of that, I found out I can't work down there because I've got a criminal record. So I was absolutely shattered, but alright, pick myself up, get back into it. Went and applied 5 job agencies looking for forklift work, which I'm a brickie by trade, so I could go earn good coin, but I don't want to be in that environment. Everyone's off chops, so I guess trying to find a new path. It's not easy, it's hard. And 5 job agencies, and I haven't heard nothing from them, so pretty shattering. So 5 job agencies I applied for, heard nothing in now nearly 3 weeks. It's pretty disheartening. I guess, in my mind I was running, a couple earns I had set aside, thinking, if I go do an earn, I can make, a bit of coin, and I'm not using drugs. So I really struggled with that, and the idea, I guess, of now spring kicking in, everyone's chucking plants in the ground, can make a bit of money off that. Just really struggling. Like, I was very close to jumping in my car and go on and doing something, but I'm grateful that I've learned how to process things a bit more and just sit with it, have a bit of consequential thinking, and I guess the thought of, getting caught, really, which is a possibility, my kids wouldn't talk to me, they'd bar me and I'd shatter them, and I could end up going and use drugs, easy come, easy go. So I'm just like, I'm broke, it is what it is. Things will come in time and I'll figure it out. The other day was Rosh Hashanah, which is a Hebrew feast day that God commanded Moses on Mount Sinai. These were things of spiritual patterns, like God coming from the spirit realm, speaking to Moses in the natural realm, tells him do things according to the pattern that I show you, right? So he's showing him spiritual things. And people might say, you're not Hebrew, or you're not from Israel. Well, if you look at what these words mean, aren't I really? Isn't that what I'm pursuing? Even Abraham himself, the father of him, he was from the kingdom of Babylon. He come out of that, and I think by memory the actual word Hebrew means to pass over. So you're crossing over. If you look at Passover in Egypt, when God was using Moses to judge Egypt, they put, the last judgment was all the firstborn, or all those of the false inheritance were going to die, right? But the people who had the blood put on the doorways of the houses, that the spirit of death would pass over them, right? So it's really a picture of people that, you know, our heart, our being is our doorway, right? And if we apply the blood of Christ, the spirit of death passes over us, or we pass over from death into life, heading towards the spiritual promised land. And Israel means God prevails. So the true spiritual Hebrews and the people of Israel are those that allow God to prevail in their being, and they pass over from death to life, right? Anyway, so yeah, it was the Feast of Trumpets, which, if you look at the first three feasts, Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits, right? Christ died on Passover, so he's a true Hebrew, right? While sacrificing a lamb, he sacrificed himself hanging on a tree. No one took his life away from him, he laid it down, you know. And while he's in the grave, it was the Feast of Unleavened Bread. When he rose again from the dead, Feast of First Fruits. Then he ascended up to the Father, and when he poured out, he told his disciples, go wait in Jerusalem, and I'll pour out my Spirit upon you. You know, wait for the promise. When they received that promise, it was the Feast of Pentecost. Now when you read the book of Revelation, there's three feasts in there. Feast of Trumpets, Feast of Atonement, and Feast of Tabernacles. And all these three feasts are a part of the Latter Day Rain Feast, which is under Tabernacles, right? So the Feast of Trumpets, they'd start blowing trumpets, calling everyone unto their fathers, right? To repent, to learn Torah, and to, you know, get back into it. And it's through that comes the Feast of Atonement. So basically being cleansed by hearing the word, right? The trumpet is those who speak the truth of the word, to God being tabernacled with us. So God's presence resting upon his temples like he did on the seventh day of creation, or the 7,000th year, because a day unto the Lord is as 1,000 years, as Peter and Barnabas and many others have said. And he rested with his very glory on all creation. So that's what he wants with us. He wants us to pass over from death into life. He wants to inhabit our beings, and it's a process, obviously, you know. Anyway, so I was having this dinner. Thought, all right, I'll teach my family and that a little bit about it, and it went, you know, it was great. It was really good, really nice to spend time with the family. Had a mate come down, and which I never shared to him much about God and stuff. But yeah, we were outside for like half an hour and just pouring out all this stuff about creation and God's intention, you know, which is really cool. But this guy, just about the sun was setting, my missus and kids were out in the shops just grabbing some stuff, and I'm thinking, like, where are they, you know? And I could hear a car outside, so I've gone outside, and she's trying to turn into the driveway, right? Turn right into the driveway, and there's this guy, he's blocking the road, and like he's yelling at her, stupid woman, rah rah rah. And she's like, excuse me, you know, like, that's my driveway, can you like go forward or go back, you know? And he's carrying on, and I'm like, buddy, don't talk to her like that, you know? Like, I might have said, you know, if you talk to her like that, I'm going to give you a backhander, mate, you know? And he's just ignored me, and he starts like screaming at her, right? Swearing, carrying on. And he was in this, I don't know, like a Jeep thing with no roof. All his windows are down. So I've gone right up into his car, and I've stuck my whole head in, so, because I'm pretty tall, 6'5". And I've stuck my head in, put my head as close to his head as possible, sort of thing. And like, mate, don't talk to her like that. And I was going to wind a backhander, because the car was kind of small, the dash was in the way. I couldn't get the reach on it. And yeah, he's just started getting stuck into me, hasn't he? And he was a tall dude, tradie, you know, like himself, you know. And he gave me like 3-4. And so I'm like, well, you know, now he's given me the green light. I've walked around the back of his car and I could see he's rummaging, looking for something. And the picture I'm having while I'm walking around the car, I'm thinking if he comes out with his car with a weapon, I'm gonna sweep kick his legs and give him an elbow, you know. But he stayed in the car, and I'm thinking, depending on the weapon, I might have to, you know, push kick him in the chin, you know. Anyway, he's in his car, so I just give him sort of a, it was a right hook, but more like I was hitting a speedball, you know. My thumb was sort of sticking out front. I wasn't trying to hit him hard. I'll just give him one, like a 1-2, you know, but hooked into it, obviously. And yeah, broke his nose. He had blood coming out of both nostrils straight away, and he's just like this. It was like a stunned mullet. I'm like, yeah, mate, you like that, didn't ya? I'm going, don't say another word unless you want a proper hiding. I'm like, off you go. See you later. And he's just like, shook it off, come to, and left. Go on, boys. Right. So that was that, dinner and a show. Anyway, is what it is, you know. Like, I don't really have any pity for him. Only thing I felt bad about is my son's girlfriend is a sweet young lady. She was in the back of the car and she's witnessed that. So I kind of feel bad about that, but you know, we're in Dandy, mate, and he was off his head on gear, you know. He was on ice and who knows what else. So yeah, he got what was coming. Go on, buddy.